morning. Thank you for joining us on Pastor's Corner. Thank you for taking time out, being with us. Thank you for supporting, liking, subscribing to our channel. Helps us out. We're going to be in the book of Romans, chapter 13. I normally read from the King James Version. I'm going to read from the NIV. Just words it a little bit differently. Starting with the first verse, if you could follow along with me. It says, "Let everyone be subject to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except that which God has established. The authorities that exist have been established by God. Consequently, whoever rebels against the authority is rebelling against what God has instituted, and those who do so will bring judgment on themselves." I wanted to cover that part first, but this is where I want to go into. It says, "For rulers hold no terror for those who do right, but for those who do wrong. Do you want to be free from fear of the one in authority?" You want to be free from that fear of somebody that has authority over you. "Then do what is right, and you will be commended." If you do the right thing, you won't have fear. You will be recognized in a good way. That's the way it's supposed to work. Verse 4, "For the one in authority is God's servant for your good. But if you do wrong, be afraid." Then when you do wrong, fear comes upon us. "For rulers do not bear the sword for no reason. They are God's servants, agents of wrath to bring punishment on the wrongdoer. Therefore, it is necessary to submit to the authorities, not only because of possible punishment, but also as a matter of conscience." This is Romans chapter 13. As I said, I'm reading from a different version than I normally do. But this says a lot. It tells us a lot. And as you know here, we express and spend a lot of time on peace and fear or anxiety, stress, worry. But this gives us a roadmap to avoid that fear, that being afraid of somebody that governs over us, has authority over us. And I'm not talking about the election or politics. That's not what I'm referring to. I'm just referring to in life. And authorities, those that govern over us. That could be a boss. That could be a principal in a school. What different places of our life that we answer to people. But it's very simple what it's saying here. That if we do the right thing, we won't have to be afraid or have fear of punishment, as it uses the word sword. The sword that brings terror. That if we do the right thing, but it's for the ones that do wrong. That's the way the system, and this is biblical here, the way the system's supposed to work. If your automobile's out on the road, that you have to have current registration. You have to have insurance to cover yourself, or if you hit somebody, liability or full coverage. Most people carry full coverage. And then also obey the laws that are out there. But if you don't have current registration, insurance, you're speeding, you're running red lights, it's going to bring a fear upon you, or it should. Now, I know some people push it, though, and it amazes me. I could be going down the freeway, and when the freeway isn't full of traffic. The traffic's going at a fast clip. Normally, the whole traffic's going faster than the speed limit. And everybody should be moving like a group. And then you'll see someone just fly by. And I'll look, and I look at the speed everyone's going, which is normally pretty fast. And I look and I say, that car has to be going 15, 20 miles faster than everyone else, pushing 90 miles an hour, maybe more. And they are lacking fear, not in a good way. They're lacking fear, not in a good way. They're not understanding that they're taking their own life in their hands. They're taking other people's lives in their hands. And what people won't understand is the way the streets, freeways, stoplights are designed by engineers is based on the speed limit that it calls for. So the lights are timed accordingly. So somebody that is going faster than the time lights, and that light turns yellow, and you're going the normal speed limit, you have sufficient time to brake. But somebody that's going above the speed limit or at a higher number of speed, and that light turns yellow, they're farther back, let's say, from the line, because they're going so fast, they're not going to brake. So then that light turns red, and they're coming through it, and boom, you get those collisions sometimes. And it's somebody that is lacking the understanding. But if they had some fear in the right way and say, that is not a safe thing to do. So there are the way that this is describing in our life, that we check the boxes that we're supposed to in our life. We cross the T's and we dot the I's. And what that does is it removes us from fear of being afraid. It uses both of those words in this version, fear and afraid. But when we do the wrong thing at a low level, or we do the wrong thing at a high level, maybe we don't instantly have that fear or afraid, but when the consequences begin to come upon our lives, then it's going to bring that terror. But if we understand on a daily basis, to do the right thing, and I used traffic laws, but we could talk about, let's say you have a job duty at work. For myself, when I was in school and I had an assignment, my goal was to get that assignment done as quickly as possible, so that I don't have that over my head as a form of an anxiety. I do continuous education. I have to do every 2 years. And recently, the expiration date was August 31st, this past month. But I have to do 24 hours of continuous education. So I start, and it was the third week of August, and I had 2 hours left of the 24, and it was the third week. And I came to that Monday, and I said, all right, I'm going to tackle those last. Well, I ended up doing 4 hours, so I had 2 extra hours, 26. I ended up doing 26 out of 24. But I was finished with about 10 days left in the month, maybe 9, somewhere in there. But I had set this up for myself that I wasn't going to wait till the last day. And it's set up that you can't cram it all in a short period of time. It won't allow you to, because they know some people are going to do that. I don't know what the grace period is. I don't know what the consequences are. I don't want to find out, but I do know other people that they wait to the last minute, day, week. But I want to give myself a block of time to complete it, even at this age of my life, because I don't want that terror. I don't want that anxiety. I don't want to wake up in the middle of the night and say, "Oh, I got to finish my continuous education." Um, it's a license that I have that I don't want to lose. If I don't do it, I'd have to go and start all over, which is a long process, a lot of time and money. But anyways, I do that, tackle it, and I tend to try and do that with things in my life that I have to get done, that I want to get it done, to remove that fear, that anxiety, that stress, that worry, however you want to word it, and those that govern over us, and that if I have a responsibility, that an obligation, that I fulfill it and complete it. We've talked about this conscientiousness, to be conscious of things, that and understand it. That I have a responsibility as a leader myself, and I've led hundreds and hundreds of people throughout my life, many people, and two things that I've come across in all different walks of life. One is people that don't listen to direction. You give them directions, they don't listen. They don't follow directions. It's one. They think that they can think a different way, which is fine, but sometimes it's like, do this, this, and that, and it'll be easier. A lot of times it depends on the task. And I've done this even when I was younger. I said, okay, do it your way, just make sure it gets done. And sometimes, though, their way doesn't work. That's why I said do this, this, and that. The other thing is not being able to walk a project through from point A to point B. I don't care how talented somebody wants, a person is, one is gifted, all those things. If they can't walk something through from point A to point B, it doesn't matter how talented, how gifted, all those things that people will claim, but they can't walk a project through. So you take someone that's less gifted, less talented, but they can walk it through. They can take it from point A to point B. And when you come across those people, it's refreshing. It's inspiring. And I'm more talking now about the younger people, because it's a different time now. Sometimes, though, that you have to lean on older people because they understand these things. A lot of times younger people don't. They just don't follow through. They don't stay committed. They don't follow obligations. Older people do too, but a lot of times older people learn this one. Check your boxes off, cross your T's, dot your I's, and you remove that anxiety, that fear. And as you get older, there's a lot of times you realize, okay, let me just take care of it. Same thing with, let's say, your maintenance of your body, your automobile, your house, the different things that you take care of, so you remove that element from coming and collapsing something on you. But I'm talking the physical realm. I'm talking about gravity. 2 plus 2 is 4. But this also applies in life, relationships, that you think about. Let me do the right thing, lest this comes back and snowballs on me and causes an issue in my life. Because somebody else is doing the wrong thing, let me do the right thing. Because somebody else is saying the wrong thing, let me not say the wrong thing, or let me say the right thing. If I don't know the right thing to say, then let me not say anything. Why? Lest I bring that upon my life. And again, I'm not just talk about governing, being a servant, authority, and it could sound like the election, and that's not what that I'm using this for. But even that, how people are going to go down that road, they're going to pound that nail, pound that nail, pound that nail, pound that nail, and step back and say, what's the big picture in my life? Now we could see the big picture in politics, yes, and we have the ability to vote, yes, and we have the ability to pray. To pray, yes, pray for those in authority. But to spend all our energy and time and getting upset and arguing with people, what's it going to do at the end of the day? And it doesn't just have to be about politics. If I'm sitting across from somebody and they already have their mind made up about something, and if I ask them, say, is there anything I can say? Is there anything I could say or show you that would change your mind? And they say, there's nothing you could say or show me. My mind is made up. And I'm sure you know people like that. Would that be a road to go down then? To spend an hour, 2 hours, 4 hours, 8 hours with somebody and arguing with them that they already told you they'll never change their mind? And whatever that might be, but mostly the Word, the Bible. And I say it this way because I watch a lot of people down this. They hold on to a belief, and that belief can be incorrect, and they will not change their mind. Their belief is held higher than what the Bible says. Instead of looking and saying, maybe I'm wrong, and I need to mold my thinking around the Bible instead of molding the Bible around my thinking. And I know that may sound foreign, but we can't have a thinking and then make the Word revolve around our thinking. We need to revolve our thinking around the Word. I always encourage people to have an original thought. Have an original thought. Yes, have an original thought. But be open to that original thought. It might be wrong. And that you change that thought, because we can be wrong with our thinking. We can be wrong with our interpretation of something. We can be wrong with our stance. We could be wrong with a situation, and we just don't know it. Say, well, I'm never wrong. Well, maybe instead of saying you're wrong, maybe you don't have enough information, or I don't have enough information, or we have the wrong information, or we have a false information. That's why, and I've been this way. When I hear something about somebody, I don't just hold on to it and grab it. I want more information. I don't, when conflicts happen, I don't make an opinion on just the one side. And even if I do hear the one side, I want to still in my mind look at the other side and think, why might they have said that? Why might they have done that? Maybe this was a misunderstanding. And that's how I am. And people may not realize this, my children do. Whenever they would come into a conflict, say when they're younger age, I still would do it today. I want to challenge them. If they bring something to me, I want to challenge them. I'm going to say, okay, tell me what they said. What was their tone of voice? What was the situation? Did you say anything first? Did you trigger that or ignite that? Or did you? And I'm going to challenge you. Why? Because I'm mad? Because I'm mean? Because I don't love them? No, I'm doing it for their sake. for their own sake. And even at this age that they're all grown up now, and every once in a while, there's a lot they're not going to bring to me because they know that they're big people. They have to tackle things. But occasionally they might bring something to me that has happened, and I'll say, here's what I counsel you to do. And it'll always lean towards not making a situation worse, not putting gas on the fire. And so many times I'll tell one of my children, adult children, leave it alone. Don't react, don't respond. Just let it sit. And a lot of times they listen to me, sometimes they don't. And then they might touch something, and then it goes, and then I'll do that's why I said, da, 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 da. And then sometimes I don't. It bounces up higher, and I don't comment on it. But sometimes when we're looking at something as a family in the future, I'll be like, okay, this is, don't touch this. Just take the high road, do the right thing. And they all know this. My family knows this. They know how I am. They don't know that that I'm going to look to do the right thing. My brother-in-law, one of my brother-in-laws was telling me that he had heard a story about me when I was young, like when I was a young man. And he said he heard this story that this is before I knew the Lord. And he said that somebody had a flat tire, and they got a flat tire near where we lived, and the individuals didn't care for me. He's telling me the story. He says that he heard that I went out there and offered support to help them with their flat tire. He says, I remember that story and how that kind of ran, that it was like, wait a second, this guy, he's not all what some people say about him. And I wasn't thinking like that as a young man, like, oh, I'm going to cover my tracks. And I just I would look to do the right thing when I was a young man, to the best of my ability. I did some things I shouldn't have as a young man. But so many times I saw a family. They were walking down the road in the heat, and they looked like they didn't have much. And they had went to the store, and you could see that they had some children. And I was going to pull over and give them a ride, but I didn't because of this. The thought hit me, I don't have car seats, so I couldn't. But I was juggling this. Do I put them in my car without car seats? Or my mind's going like that again. It's like, if something happens and I don't have them in car seats, now all the responsibility is on me. And that could just go wrong. Trying to do the right thing. But if I had car seats, I would have just boom and said, okay. But I did do this. I prayed for them. That's what I did do. I did pray for them. But I look to the best of my ability to do the right thing. And when we do the right thing, we remove that terror, that being afraid, that fear, that whatever that it comes upon us. When we were reading it, it may sound very deep, but there's a lot of simplicity to it. That terror or that threat of consequences are for those that do the wrong thing. And yes, society needs that. And I don't want to get into all that. I think you know how it works. You remove that, and people that don't walk in love, that need fear, they'll run crazy in this world. They'll do crazy things. Those people have to have that fear, that afraid, that terror. But that shouldn't be us. We shouldn't be those people. We should be those that we do the right thing because it's the right thing to do the right thing. And we remove that fear, that anxiety, that terror. I want to encourage you to look at your life that way. You make your decisions. Let me do the right thing because it's the right thing to do the right thing, even if everybody's doing the wrong thing. If everyone's doing the wrong thing, you still do the right thing. And what at the end of the day, not at the end of life, but at the end of life too, but as the day closes, we remove that fear, that thing over our head. Now, there's going to be things out of our control that are going to happen, yes. And that's where we have to pray. We pray about a lot of things, but those things, just Lord, hold your hand upon this. Lord, touch this person's heart. Lord, guide me, to direct me, whatever this is, whatever it is. And the end result is peace, a peace that passes all understanding. Thank you for joining us today, Pastor's Corner. If you'd like to see us in person, we'll be here at 12 o'clock, Arizona time, 1363 South Vineyard in Mesa, Arizona 85210. If you'd like to bless us financially, there should be some ways on the screen there that you can connect with us. Pretty simple. We have a lot of them. I think there's Cash App and Zelle and text to give 77977 New Creation AZ. You text that, you'll get a link. Boom. Thank you for joining us.